Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal. Senator, always a pleasure to see you. How are you?
Good, Jose. Great to be with you.
You were one of 21 Democrats who voted against this cromnibus. Do you think the president should sign it?
I would urge the president to sign it because we need to continue the government's funding, avoid a shutdown. But I voted against it because I think that it very severely endangers economic security and public safety. For example, the transportation rollback in the rules that take tired truckers off the road would save lives. It's been implemented after extensive administrative proceedings and by a provision snuck into the bill in the last moment. It endangers lives. Likewise, the rollback in taxpayer protections under Dodd-Frank, the cuts in pension rights, the campaign finance abuses that are enabled by this law. These provisions were unnecessary for a compromise, and that's why I voted against them, because they threaten health and economic security.
We mentioned Dr. Murthy's confirmation after a year in waiting. We now know Loretta Lynch's nomination for Attorney General waited until next year. How do you see these proceedings going with Republicans in charge?
I think that Loretta Lynch will be confirmed. I'm a member of the Judiciary Committee. I hope that her merits and qualifications are considered preeminently, just as I argued that Dr. Murthy should be confirmed as Surgeon General because of his qualifications. Really, the opposition to him came from the NRA that raised the gun issue, which was unnecessary, and I believe that we have fought back successfully against that attempt to raise the gun issue in those instances, and I hope that we will prevail in bipartisan cooperation so that we have a new Attorney General. Loretta Lynch is supremely well qualified. I support her strongly.
And Senator, we've all heard about this attack in Pakistan. Is the Senate, you think, going to act on ISIS funding to keep up the global fight on terror?
I hope it will. When I first heard about this attack in Pakistan 2 years after a horrendous, horrific attack in Newtown, my heart went out to the families of those children, more than 120 now, killed. I was at Sandy Hook and saw firsthand the grief and pain and shock of that unspeakable tragedy. This kind of horror is a parent's worst nightmare. This kind of terrorist attack by gunmen who are acting in retaliation against innocent children simply because of the pursuit of them by the Pakistan government. And Pakistan cannot tolerate or accommodate terrorists. We must continue our fight against ISIS, and I will continue to support ISIS funding, but I do believe the president must come to the Congress. He must seek authorization. There has to be a new authorization for him to proceed, and I will support funding only if the Congress is given that option to go forward, and I hope that that will happen.
And Senator, finally, it's now been 2 years since the Newtown shooting. Some of the families Monday filed wrongful death suits against the gun maker, Bushmaster. What chances do you think they have?
They deserve a day in court. These claims are serious, and they deserve serious consideration. There are obstacles, but this lawsuit is apparently the only remedy they have right now for the deep, enduring injury they've suffered. So I hope they'll be treated fairly by the courts. I have every confidence they will.